So, something that I will mention over and over again is that the root of an eating disorder is always self hatred, no matter how that comes about in your life, no matter what the trigger is or why you become unhappy with yourself. That is the root of it. It really has very little to do with weight loss a lot of the time. You're trying to change yourself because you're unhappy with who you are. And then you create a cycle because you restrict your calories because you're unhappy with the way your life is or how you look. And as a result of starving yourself, that makes you more and more depressed because your body is not designed to run on a very small amount of calories. You need fuel just for your brain to be happy and function properly and to be able to think right. So then you're unhappy because you're starving, and you're starving yourself because you're unhappy, and that is why it is so hard to get out of it, because you think it's the answer, but what should be the cure is actually making it worse. I talk so many times in my journals about how bad I want to die. And here's another one right here. I don't know how much longer I can go on. My life feels so meaningless. I am so tired of smiling and laughing and telling people I'm doing well. I feel like a liar. I hate every day. Waking up and getting out of bed makes a little less sense each time I do it. And I don't want to keep telling people how bad it all hurts. They only worry, and they can't help, so what's the point? I can't even express to anyone just how depressed I am. It really hurts. No one knows what I go through, what I have to go through. How did I get this way? Little details, and even big ones, become more and more pointless. So much of the time I'm just thinking how it'd be so much better to just die now. That was the way I thought all the time. These journals were just for me. They were my real, genuine thoughts. And I talk about how I was the only one going through it. No one knew what I was going through. So unaware that there are millions of other people with these exact same feelings and thoughts. Some of them have eating disorders, some of them are just depressed, and maybe they have another form of eating disorder. Maybe their eating really isn't, the problem, but they're just depressed and have anxiety. Eating disorders make you very self-centered, of course, because all you are doing is focusing on how you can look a certain way, how you can control things, and you forget about the rest of the world. It's really horrible how selfish it makes you. And now I am so aware of those other people out there, and that's why I want to help them get better. But I want you to know that you're not alone, because I can almost guarantee you have felt that if you're watching this with an eating disorder. And if you know someone with an eating disorder, try to remind them that they're not alone, that there's other people with those exact same thoughts. That is one of the main lies that you believe with an eating disorder. I've talked to several people that have recovered and are still dealing with anorexia and bulimia, and they all say that. I feel like I'm the only one. No one understands this. Another thing that they think is how they're not good enough. They need to be perfect. That consumed me for years. I'm not good enough. I am not good enough. I don't want to tell you, you are good enough. In a way, none of us are good enough, and that's what makes it okay. You are good enough just the way you are, and it doesn't matter what you look like. It isn't going to make you any better, even if if you aren't good enough, you think that getting 30 pounds skinnier is going to change that and suddenly you're going to be good enough? Do you think that if you're miserable right now at this weight, that you're actually going to feel better when you're eating less calories? And what I'm trying to say is, are you seriously thinking that you're going to wake up one day and look in the mirror and say, "Oh, I've arrived. I'm actually happy today. Everything has changed so abruptly now just because there's this much more room in these jeans." It's sad how much madness is behind an eating disorder, and it still feels so real when you're in it, because I know I was there and I actually did believe somewhere inside of me that it was going to get better and I was going to arrive to a happy place where I could just maintain what I was doing and be happy. 89 pounds is what I thought it was for the longest time, even though I got down to 93. I thought 4 more pounds was going to make me go from wanting to die to being blissfully happy. That's really sad. No, it doesn't work that way. In this other one, I talk a bit about my Great Dane and my horse not being enough, because I had the same mindset with them as I did with finding the right man, as I talked about in another video, that they were going to rescue me and make it all better. Having them in my life would make the quality of my life better and give me a reason to eat more. My Great Dane frustrated me so much when she was a puppy that I actually ended up selling her for a while. The guy couldn't handle her either, so a month later we got her back, and that's why we still have her. And my horse that was absolutely incredible, he was an ex-race horse, and everyone was like, "You cannot have a thoroughbred. They are crazy when they have been on the track." He was magical. He was jet black, and I named him Blitz. I have never seen a horse that majestic or incredible. When he came off of that trailer, I was just like, wow, I cannot believe that I own this amazing boy now. And I thought that I was going to train him and compete, and we were going to be best friends. I got him for Christmas in 2010, and he randomly started losing weight, and we tried everything to put weight back on him. The vet saw him, didn't know what to do. He just went downhill, and he ended up having to be put down on Good Friday, right before Easter. And I felt like my dreams died with that horse. It still breaks my heart so bad when I think of that day that I lost him, because he was my baby, and I thought that that was the end of the possibility of me getting better for a long time. But it's okay now. I cherish the time that we had together because he was so different and sweet and gentle. And I wrote in here in one of my entries about how on Christmas Day when I went to go see him, he kissed me and got mud all over my face, and he would hug me, wrap his neck around mine, and he would come over when I called him, even though we had just, met each other. He was just so different from any other horse that I'd ever met. So losing him definitely made my eating disorder worse. But it's okay. You can bounce back from anything. After I lost him, I did cling to the idea more that it had to be this man, this magical man that would make all the difference, because I thought, an animal is one thing, but surely when I find the man that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, that'll be a different story. No. Don't expect anything else to pull you out. It's you. I'll end there on that note. Until next time. Bye, guys.